Talk about Broken Arrow. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and in today's video I wanted to share a few of my thoughts, opinions, and first impressions on playing Broken Arrow just earlier today. And well, basically I wanted to just kind of say what I was thinking and really what I had felt after just a couple of games, and then revisit it a little bit later. Welcome back, good to see you all here, and thank you very much for subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button to see more of this amazing modern real-time strategy game that has a lot under the hood and a lot more I have yet to experience. Now, it's a good thing when developers give to content creators early access to a game, so we have ample time to be able to tell you on launch day what we think and feel about the game. So at this point I can't really formulate my thoughts completely because I've only played a few hours, but what I can say of what I've played, especially online, has been very good. What I was anticipating with this game and what I was very worried about was day one server issues, and I can absolutely happily report that I've not really had too many, at least anything that's been devastatingly unplayable. Now, there's been a few disconnects here and there, and it's hard to tell whether or not it's somebody's connection or the servers themselves, but I've always experienced that in these types of games, so I guess it's normal, at least for me, and I haven't really had anything to where it's been just unplayable because people just disconnect in mass or there's been server connection issues. So for the multiplayer part, that's been working just fine. Now for this game, by the way, which is out as of now in advanced access and coming out worldwide on June 19th, 2025, you may be wondering, hey, how come you're playing earlier? How did you get it? That's the advanced access known as the Vanguard Edition, which essentially gives you a little bit more under the hood, like things like you know, a soundtrack and an art book or whatever. I don't know. It's just basically pay us more and we'll let you play on the intended release date, but we'll do this artificial delay thing if you don't pay us as much. Now the price is maybe a little steep, but there is a sale I think for it on the first couple of weeks, and I'll leave a link down below, as the pricing of course is subject to change, but I believe it was around like $59 and $49 respectively, depending on whatever version that you were getting. But I've got to say, I'm really thrilled with how the campaign has gone so far in the game. Now, for the multiplayer, I just want to wrap that up real quick by saying that there is some multiplayer that you can do in terms of, like, if you want to create a lobby. A cool thing that you can do here is you can play the scenarios. You can also play a skirmish mode and also a custom mode too. And there happens to be a editor for this game where you can make your own like maps and stuff. So you can create your own scenarios here that are playable in multiplayer that have all the different maps in the game, or at least most of them, for what they've uploaded for the scenario mode, and then you can name them, write a description, and go in and also play those PvE or maybe even PvP. It says PvE here, but PvP meaning that you can play, of course, the other game modes in PvP. So you have both PvE or PvP, but it doesn't seem like you have access to both, where somebody can be on like an AI's team, that kind of thing. So anyway, cool to see scenarios here, cool to see the typical multiplayer, the PvP stuff here. Very good and very welcome to see that. So nice to be able to create all that stuff and do whatever you'd like that way. So as for multiplayer, again, yeah, we got that, and then we've also got the skirmish mode, which does let you set things up, but I don't think you can be on the AI team, I don't think. Maybe you can. I don't see really an option for that, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But it does look like you can do a skirmish, but with maybe friends. I'm not exactly sure how the hell that all works out. But there are a lot of maps here, and that's one thing I was really impressed with, that there's a lot of these mostly from the campaign. So I hope to see a lot more maps. They're very well done, and they're very like city skylines, like if somebody was playing World and not World and Conflict. That is my favorite game of all time, though, and that's what comes to mind whenever I see this game, is a modern World and Conflict where we're in these big cities, and that's what comes to mind is Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, because of all the Soviet era buildings in areas of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, and also Kaliningrad. But then also you know, it just seems like a heavily modded city skylines with tons of mass transit and stuff around. So they've done an outstanding job with that, and also a huge plethora of units to choose from. I mean, these are infantry units, aircraft, transports, helicopters, and then variants that can be upgraded between them. Like, for example, all of these units here, like this M60A1. There's a ton of units where you could actually modify their engine package, their weapons. You can do that with aircraft, of course, giving them things like Stormbreakers. I mean, it's insane. The customization goes above and beyond. I mean, look at this. This is just planes, and I think people like the planes the most because there's a lot of ways to equip, you know, your center line, inner and outer pylons and middle pylons with tons of stuff, and same with the choppers too. You know, you can give them missiles and rocket pods and other things like that, and it's for both factions, both the United States and Russia, taking place in modern times, and then also, of course, the different factions here. So you've got the Airborne VDV Brigade, you've got the Guard Tanks Brigade for the Russians, you've got motorized infantry, coastal troops, and then I think mechanized infantry as well for the Russians. And then for the United States, it's the United States Marine Corps, so a lot of amphibious units there, good aircraft and helicopters. Then you've got the Armored Brigade, Airborne Infantry, Striker Cavalry, and also the Special Operations Forces. So I'm really just happy with the amount of stuff that we have here. And the difference between the Army Builder and the Armory that a lot of people have been asking is that the Army Builder allows you to create these quote-unquote decks, and these are the units that you'll bring into battle. Think of it as if you were playing a card game and could only bring in so many cards. And the Armory lets you just see all the units and their statistics in the game, to which there already is a confirmation of more things to be added, but when and what, we're not sure quite at the moment. So, but I must say, I love how this campaign is done. Check this out. When you initially complete a couple of missions in Lithuania here, there's like a starting tutorial that is very good and highly recommended for anybody wondering about this game. If you're overwhelmed at any time, I think that's the best one to pick. And then there's a mission that really truly kicks off the campaign, and you can also replay these missions too at any time, which I really like. So there's a little tutorial that kind of shows that the Americans are building up NATO forces here near Lithuania, near Belarus and Russia, and they're not very happy about that. And then you go down here to do another mission. Actually, sorry, at the very beginning, tensions rise because you shoot down a drone, which you're not really supposed to do, but accidentally happens. And then there's a mission where Russian forces or Belarusian forces are approaching the border, and they're not stopping, and an invasion is beginning. And then Russia starts to attack Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania's capitals, and the only way that American can try to reduce the pressure of that is to try to take Kaliningrad. So it's kind of a, all right, we're going to take all three of these, but we might lose that. And so they have to, keep face. But what I really like is after you finish those first two missions, you can play these missions in any order. So there's 3 American missions here after those first 2 that are also American, and then 2 for Russia. And then there should be more later on. So I'm not exactly sure how they'll be introduced or how all that works. Again, I'm just getting into it myself, but I think the way they've done it is pretty good. So me being a big fan of World in Conflict and missing the hell out of that game and wishing we would have gotten a sequel, games like Regiments and Warno and Wargame Red Dragon and Air Land Battle and European Escalation have all come close to giving me what I wanted with those games, but this one I think just does it best with a very cinematic campaign that's similar to something like when you're watching the Call of Duty campaign unfold. Y'all remember going and picking up those CDs back in the like mid and late 2000s, and now downloading it and getting through the campaign and jumping into multiplayer? A lot of people skip that and go right into multiplayer, but for me, I gotta have a good juicy campaign, and I think that's an excellent way for these developers to charge us. I want to be charged more for more. In other words, I would love to see like the French and the Germans being included into a campaign, that they have their own interactive map like this that introduces them and kind of gives us a tutorial of what their strengths and weaknesses are and gives them a neat little campaign on the map. And then we also get to use them in multiplayer. I'm not so interested in paying like $5-10 for here's Germany, here's France, here's I don't know, the Baltic states units or whatever, and then you only get to play with them in multiplayer. I think it'd be a missed opportunity to really kind of make it feel as if you were fighting on death's ground for them. It'd be cool to play as Latvia and fighting for Latvia as Latvian troops inside Latvia in a campaign, right? Instead of just being like Latvia and America versus Russia for some whatever reason. So anyway, so far so good. No real major things to report, I don't think. Not so far. Figured I'd introduce you to one of the main missions here. The tutorial mission, the quote-unquote tutorial mission, is still like mission 1. It develops a little bit of the story where you could skip a lot of the introduction to how to use things like mortars and infiltration and recon and ATGMs, and then you can get right into the planes where you shoot down that drone. But we're going to go to what I can call officially mission, I guess, 1 or 1.5. Tensions escalate rapidly between NATO and Russia. We're gonna go with that one, which then unlocks the rest of the campaign. And then I want to play more of these here, so definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button to see a lot more of this. You may have seen the airbase heist mission before on the channel. You've also probably seen the big wave mission as well. So I think that was one of the first missions that we played in the demo at the very beginning, and then also Blackout we played before too. And there's also a mission I think where we take a highway. It could be this one as well. So we may have seen a lot of these already, but we're going to play through them again to show the differences. Anyway, without further ado, let's play the mission.
The Lithuanian government denounced a violation of its airspace and closed its frontier with Belarus and Russia.
The unknown object that was shot down during the exercise turned out to be a Russian drone. The official line is that it was shot down to prevent an air collision with our jets training nearby. But the Russians refused to go along with that story and maintained that it was flying on their side of the border.
But it was flying on the wrong side of the border, right?
Well, it was hit in the Lithuanian airspace, but ended up a few meters on the other side of the frontier. So, as you can imagine, they jumped on the occasion to create their own narrative. In any case, the Lithuanian government has closed their borders with Belarus and Kaliningrad until the end of the investigations. As a response, the Russians have placed all their troops at the border on high alert and sent a quote-unquote military convoy carrying humanitarian aid to Kaliningrad. They are approaching the town of Lazdiche as we speak.
And nobody thought about stopping them?
It's a tricky situation. The Lithuanians cannot block humanitarian convoys without breaking international treaties.
Humanitarian my ass. We can't let that happen. The so-called humanitarian convoy is like spitting in our face. Williams, what are our units in the area?
A striker company from 2nd Cav is training nearby. If they move it once, they should be able to intercept the convoy before it reaches the city of Lazdiche.
This isn't much, but it'll have to do. Dispatch them immediately.
General, don't you see what's happening? The drone, the convoy, half the Russian army are on high alert on the other side of the frontier. This whole situation could very well be a false flag operation. If you rush into this convoy with blazing guns, this would certainly give them a justification for a strong military response.
They wouldn't dare. They're only testing our resolve. So we'll put ourselves in their way, make a show of force, and watch them go crawl back under their rock.
And what will you do if they don't stop?
The city of Lazdiche is a vital crossroad to reinforce Lithuania. If they take control of it, we have no way to defend Vilnius in case of invasion. We cannot take the risk to let that happen.
Sir, Striker Company responded. They are already in sight of Lazdiche and are awaiting orders.
Thank you, Major. Let's go, Commander. We have a lot on our plate.
All right, so I like this because it provides a lot of the briefings that would happen in like Company of Heroes, and then we've got our primary objectives. Keep in mind this game's also got a few hidden objectives too. These are kind of just vague outlines of what we'll do for the main objectives. There will be secondary objectives and then 3 badges that we can get too, although you don't really know what the secret missions are until after you've completed the actual like mission itself. So at the end it'll tell you like complete a mission in X amount of time, take no losses, be done the highest difficulty. You just honestly don't know. So it definitely provides some additional playthrough value there, which is pretty nice, and also some tips and tricks for anybody just getting started and wondering what these units are or how to use them. So additional things for anybody learning from the first mission coming here. All the missions will have additional info on like what a unit is and how to use it or whatnot. We're going to play on medium difficulty, but I'm not going for any sort of, you know, whatever. Like if we die, whatever. If a million units die, I really don't care. I'm here to just show off how the campaign plays, and this intro is really good. Each of the missions have their own intro, and they've done a pretty damn good job of trying to keep it, it's kind of Call of Duty-ish, but it's good. Just watch.
The convoy
bad.
has been spotted a few miles down this highway, sir.
No time to lose, then. This crossroad is the last position where we can stop them before they reach the city. Send your troops there immediately, Commander.
Now keep in mind, another thing you could do in the campaign is you can also turn down the speed or pause, and I'll be doing that a little bit just to show things off. And I want to focus first on the maps. Now we're playing on like, I don't know, I auto set the visuals or whatever, the graphics, just to play earlier today. So some things might glitch out a little bit, some buildings might flash here and there. And also the maps are much bigger than this for the mission that we're playing, and they've kind of like cordoned off a very small play area. But when we play multiplayer, we could be able to play in this entire map if this is one that happens to be in the multiplayer. So keep in mind that some missions are longer and shorter than others. Some may be where we replay them again in different sections of the same map, and some maps are like bigger than this and used for multiplayer. So, but I gotta say, again, I really like the detail here. You know, air conditioning units, you got like gardens and cars and stuff parked everywhere. You got curbing and, you know, sidewalks and garbage cans and things all around. So this, I mean, if you took a picture from this game and told me, yeah, I'm playing a new City Skylines mod, I would absolutely believe you. Or playing a new City Builder. I mean, it looks really good. So for a game that, you know, takes pride in that, being a modern game, it's, you know, taking place in modern days, it looks great. All right, we're going to bring in some Striker Javelins. And we're also going to bring in some infantry right away. Actually, I do not want them yet. I want that. There we go. ATGMs are going to be important here. So our main objective is essentially going to be to capture and hold this crossroad, then 2 crossroads to the left.
We're tracking its position with a drone.
Enemies are on the way.
Hurry up. Capture the crossroad before they reach it.
Remember, this is officially a humanitarian convoy, and unless proven otherwise, it must be considered as such. Act with extreme caution here, General.
Yeah, of course. Commander, make sure our troops are instructed to hold their fire and engage only if fired upon.
Right, so now we have an order to actually put our troops on hold fire, so they will not fire unless fired upon. So that's one of the things we have to do. So we have to play nice with the Russians for now. They're obviously launching a very special and secret military operation, and I'm sure that will be just fine.
General.
Sure, it'll be over by Christmas.
They're approaching rapidly. Maybe they didn't see us. Shall we fire a warning shot?
Negative. Hold your fire and stay in the middle of the road. Show them we're here, and they'll back off.
They stopped.
It looks like they're hesitating.
I guess they weren't expecting us. Come on, now is the moment of truth. Either they go back, or they try to pass in force.
Moving out.
Look, they're moving back.
Thank God we won't have a war on our hands today.
All right, that's the end of the mission, guys.
Congratulations, General.
Whew,
I have to
war's
admit,
over.
I didn't think it would be that easy.
Me too.
No, wait. They turned left. What are they doing?
Oh.
Someone asked for a ride?
They're trying another approach to bypass us. Commander, redeploy your troops on these crossroads. Show them we're not here by accident.
Standing by.
Don't forget to call reinforcements. We'll need all the help we can get to cover all these crossing points.
This guy's voice, for some reason, reminds me of Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear, which is hilarious because we're also calling out MGSs. Very nice. All right, we're going to abandon the main crossroad for now and show force on the other side.
Transport reporting in.
First crossroad secured.
Roger. Moving out. Armored transport ready. Moving out.
Get another MGS up. I believe 105 millimeter on that one. All right, these humanitarian trucks are getting awfully close.
Personal carrier.
They've stopped again.
Fighting vehicle reporting in.
Telling our troops to hold fire.
Second crossroad secured, sir. Enemy soldiers have dismounted from the trucks and started moving in our direction.
Oh, God.
We got positive identification of weapons. I repeat, PID of weapons.
Hold your fire. This is a game of chicken. Whoever shoots first takes the blame.
And whoever gets shot first dies. Williams, drop a bomb on the road in front of them as a warning. We must show where our red line stands.
Recon vehicle is good to go.
Oh, well, that's a declaration of war.
It's clear they're not coming to shake hands. You're authorized to engage, Commander.
All right, war begins, boys.
They're detaching from the bulk of the convoy. They're moving up in our direction. Prepare for an assault.
Establish defensive positions in the buildings near the crossroads on our flank, Commander. And make sure our troops are resupplied. If one of these positions is overwhelmed, Fall back on the main crossroad and hunker down there. I scrambled jets to provide fire support, but they won't be there before 30 minutes. Your orders are simple. Hold at
30
all costs
minutes?
until they arrive.
Where the hell are the jets coming
Your
from?
men will never hold that long. Give me a minute. We have a pair of AC-130 gunships in the area. I will demand they be rerouted in your direction.
Thank God.
We? Who are you actually working with now, Miller?
Just use the planes and don't ask questions. They will be there in about 10 minutes.
Okay, AC-130s are on the way.
Hot on our trail. Moving there now.
Russians are going to overwhelm us soon. Okay, they're bringing up ZSU, ZU-23s, 23 millimeter trucks with basically, well, flatbed trucks with an AA gun on it. Very high-tech technology.
Who needs support?
Oh, infantry, let's hit them.
Good copy. Fire
Okay,
coordinates received.
mortars are going to fire off here. Nice animations, too. Not bad.
Order available, sir.
Boy, infantry is kind of spendy.
Someone call for a cab.
Javelin's doing work.
Need supplies? End of the line. Everybody out. Mortar ready to fire.
Okay, let's bring the mortars up here to the middle.
Next waypoint.
Looks like enemy trucks might try to go over here. We're going to ignore the main objective for now. Crazy, I know. HMG should take care of that, but we will call up the unit there to at least arrive.
We're on the move.
Nice. Finished off by the HMG. That one as well.
Logistics ready.
Okay, we're going to have our MTV go back.
Mortar ready to engage, sir. Roger. Fire mission received.
And we're going to fire on the infantry with more of these mortars. Try to keep them supplied.
Striker ready for action. Driver backwards.
Keep the mortars supplied and also our ATGMs.
Striker here. Go ahead.
This one's basically out of ammo. He's got to fall back.
Next waypoint received.
Enemy AT team there. Took a little piece out of us.
Hey, check out this rooster cruiser they gave me.
Troopers there actually have javelins. That'd be quite good. Go ahead and have them deploy. On foot. I think we can get two groups there. Maybe have the MTV pick them up, actually. Let's try that.
Check a leg. Backwards.
Okay, everything's getting resupplied here. Nice.
We're combat ready. Copy. Relocating.
Looking good.
Pedal to the metal. Good copy. Next
Ooh,
waypoint received.
BMPs now. Mechanized units are here.
Mortar
Be
ready.
advised, Commander.
Mission.
A second wave of vehicles has forced the border and is approaching on the highway. They're accompanied by self-propelled howitzers this time.
Static defenses will be hammered by their artillery, so use the mobility of the strikers to avoid their fire.
Personal
They're going to start hitting the crossroad positions themselves.
Striker ready for combat. Let's back out. Copy. Relocating. Fire.
Okay, mortars are going to hit those.
Cargo truck ready.
Oh, there's the infantry. That's where they arrive. Okay.
Ain't gonna pay no toll this time.
Right there with the ground spawn point.
Logi here, sir.
That's what we're looking for.
In a big hole now. We gotta move.
Mortars hitting on those infantry. Very good. Those are ATGMs.
Striker standing by. Combat vehicle standing by. Pedal to the metal. Departing. Driver, move back.
Need to fall back there.
Distance is good to go. Who wants a skylight for his house?
ATGM infantry have arrived. The PTRK.
You'd be blind without us.
Infantry going right in the mortars. Beautiful.
Mortar ready. Send coordinates. Back up! Back up!
Okay, keep backing up. Let's make space between those units.
Striker in combat. Send your orders. Anti-tank here. Striker ready. Backwards.
Now, you're also supposed to be able to complete this mission without taking a loss on the hardest difficulty, and that'll take some practice and maybe a little RNG.
Striker standing by.
Drop off infantry there.
Not 10 fucking minutes. Vehicle heavily damaged. Need maintenance. Reconnaissance standing by. Striker here. We're under fire.
A handful of Lithuanian units have arrived, and will hold the outskirts of the town on our left.
Combat.
Fall back on the main crossroad and hunker down there to receive the main Russian assault.
Moving out.
Okay, they're telling us to retreat from the crossroads. We've done what we needed to.
Volley after volley without repositioning. Sadly, our mortars lack the range to provide counter battery without exposing themselves.
Striker ready for action.
They're just asking to be beaten. Williams, contact the Lithuanian artillery battery that was training with the strikers. Those PCH 2000s will come in handy.
Oh, they're going to use some German artillery. Okay, so getting out of there is kind of hard without taking losses, but practice will make perfect on this. One of my favorite things about World in Conflict was how long it took me to kind of learn how to become better at that campaign, and I loved, you know, playing on the easy. Well, actually, I think I played on normal, then eventually worked my way up to hard, and I refused to play on anything other than hard every time we feature it on the channel.
Responded. One of their platoons is already on its way.
Combat vehicle.
You can call it as reinforcement, Commander.
We're on the move.
All right, well, good. That's going to be super expensive, but let's get some supply up. Okay, so Lithuanians have given us some artillery here. Maybe these troopers weren't the best call, but
Dire here, Miller.
it works very fast.
Coming.
Almost there. Just hold on a few more minutes.
Fly truck ready to transport. Logistics.
Looks like we can only take one infantry squad at a time.
Couch on it. Let's get away. Striker in combat. What are your orders? Eyes and ears, sir.
Boy, they go way too close.
Roger. We're on the move. Someone call for a cab? Get your asses out of my vehicle. All asses dismount.
Okay, we can call up that artillery. I think we'll call up 2 pieces there.
Moving. Artillery relocating.
Yeah, we'll call up 1 unit.
Weapons team at your command, sir. Sweeping the area.
Now, these troopers have javelins, so they're very expensive but very capable.
Last stop. Everybody out.
Lithuanians are holding there.
Reconnaissance. Ready for action. Artillery at your command, sir.
All right, artillery ready to go. Let's hit them.
Recon vehicle ready. Vehicle status is red.
Get these vehicles resupplied.
Hey, check out this rooster cruiser they gave me. Get us the fuck out of here!
Gonna try to continue to hold and reinforce with the U.S. military.
Ass is out. No party without Artie.
No party without Artie. He's right. These units will be ready to fight soon.
Striker standing by. Fighting vehicle ready for combat. Order ready, sir. Order at your command, sir. Direct fire on my mark. Striker ready for action. Sweeping area.
Okay, let's reinforce those infantry.
Roger. We're rolling. Striker in combat. Recon vehicle.
Their artillery is going to hit a lot of stationary defenses, as they mentioned, but since we're holding a static point, we have to kind of keep up the fire there.
Ready. Moving a new fighting position. Fire and maneuver. Who wants a skylight for his house?
The cavalry has arrived, Commander. The gunship gunships are here to support you. Move them over enemy positions and enjoy the show.
All right, AC-130s are here. I think the enemy AI is kind of generous with us. They're kind of avoiding the capture zone. I think they're kind of programmed. It's cool to show that off, because if you're thinking the mission could be more intimidating, I think it's a little more of a Hollywood movie for the time being. Let's hit them hard, boys.
Logistics ready. Time to fingerprint that load. Gunship ready to strike. Order ready to fire. We got ourselves in a fight.
Get those infantry out.
Enemy units are pouring through the main crossroads. Eliminate them and retake it immediately.
Oh, they're actually taking it. Nice. All right, good to see the AI is not
Angel of Death is in the air.
so
Ready to strike.
whatever.
Position is
Oh,
overwhelmed.
nice.
Retreat into the city outskirts and use the gunships to repel the assault.
Okay, so block the convoy is the new main objective. Hold the main crossroad was failed, and now we're desperately surviving. Okay, this is actually kind of cool
Russian
that
troops seem to be falling back.
you can be brutally
Looks like
pushed
they
back
got
like
enough
that.
for
Nice. The first time we did this, we were able to hold the crossroads. It's cool to see there's actually contingency dialogue and whatnot for that. Very nice.
Bought us precious time to organize our next move. Congratulations, Commander.
All right, what's good here to
No
see,
time for
and I'm very
congratulations.
excited about, is
Reports indicate
possible
Russian
different outcomes
penetrations
based
in
on
all
our
the main
gameplay.
axes leading to the 3 capital cities of the Baltic states.
Oh boy, they're attacking everything.
So there you have it, General. Your long-awaited war.
Standing by.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm really hoping that perhaps some of the missions can play out differently based on that. So then you can see here the medals, you know, we didn't know until now, or until you complete the mission. Don't lose a single unit, play on hard, and don't lose any crossroads in order to get like the full thing. And also I think it's giving us maybe some XP or something like that after a couple missions. That's pretty sweet. But all these missions are available for replay ability at any time and at multiple difficulties. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with that, and I really like the fact that they put that in for newer players to not just like hard stop them on that objective, that there's kind of one more chance and that there is dialogue recorded for that. And I hope to see that in all these other missions too. Imagine if you know, in some of these missions you're able to receive reinforcements where you get to choose whether or not certain units come in. So they'll say something like, hey, we got some F-18s on station, but also some helicopters. What do you want? And you choose either or, but maybe there then will be an objective to make sure that they don't get shot down or killed, or maybe there'll be a different outcome where if you choose the helicopters, then maybe they also say like, oh, the enemy also has an artillery battery that we'd like to have you take out. So there could be a multitude of different outcomes for this, and also in the scenario mode. So that's just kind of a brief look at how the missions will play out. I mean, they seem to be very good, and also you could see here that it looks like maybe any number one of these missions then lets us go on to the next mission here, which I think might be the possibly the, oh, you have to finish all 3 of them, it looks like, or at least that's what it said. But this could be the nighttime special forces mission that we've also seen too. So they've shown a lot of these missions, but I want to see a lot more. All right, well, yeah, there's a lot to like here with this game. I certainly don't think it is better than Warno. It is different than Warno and Wargame, and I think this is one I want to add to my collection, or I would if I hadn't already had it. You know, this is one that's not one to ignore, and I believe is one of the biggest RTS games for modern warfare of all time. There are certainly some other games that have been out that have been good, like Tempest Rising, and of course Regiments, that was Cold War, but or alternative stories and kind of more fun games. But I think this is certainly one that's a lot of fun for how ballsy it is, especially in today's modern climate, and then also to really teach a lot of people about all the things that are in modern militaries. I mean, you pay your taxes, these are your things, you paid for this, so you may as well see what it is, how it works, who uses it, and what it's used for, that kind of thing. So yeah, kind of nice. But anyway, that's all the time I had for today. I just wanted to have a brief overlook and just say that you know, more videos on the channel are going to be coming for building decks after I test them out a bit more, and some more recommendations on how to do things like the editor and scenario creation, and also showing off some of those other scenarios that are already included. And I hope to see more updates soon. So remember, the game is already out now in advanced access on Steam, but is officially like a worldwide release on the 19th of June 2025, and then there's already planned DLCs coming down the line. And I don't think the advanced access or any version currently comes with like the pre-order like battle pass, season pass for future content. So if you get it, you know, and you really like it, then there's more stuff coming down the pipe. But if it's not for you, again, check out some of those other games that I did mention. I think it's great though. I've been super happy to play with my friends who I've been playing with since like 10, 11, 12 in games like European Escalation. It's been a lot of fun to see those games develop and more games spin off from there. So anyway, good to be back, boys. Back in the saddle for another ride. Thanks again for subbing to the channel. Thank you very much for turning on that notification bell. Go ahead and do that. Boop, there you go. And thank you very much for leaving a like. Let me know what you think of the game down below in the comments section. If you have any questions on it, please do ask. And thank you very much for being kind and saying glory to Raptoria. It's been awesome to have you all around and in the live streams, and I hope to see you all again soon. Goodbye.